This is Carlene Tonight.
And we're Altered by Mom.
Hi, I'm Carlene, and this is Carlene Tonight. I have in studio with me Rachel Scheer. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on the show. 2020 has been an interesting year, and 2021 is just getting better. I mean, I never would have thought I'd have a relationship coach on my show. So it's cool that you're here. How are you doing during COVID?
I'm actually doing really well because even though 2020 was a disaster for so many people, for so many reasons, I actually wrote and published a book. So the book just came out on Amazon. It's called Date to Find Your Soulmate. And I just poured all of my heart and soul into it, writing about all of my dating experiences over the years and all of my knowledge and skills from being a relationship coach.
Because you're a relationship coach. Are you in a relationship?
Well, actually, I talk about that in the book, and I have a really good story at the end of my book that explains that. So you'll have to read it to find out.
Oh, well, that's the catch. So I guess I have to get on Amazon and order the book, Date to Find Your Soulmate. Getting down to the nitty gritty, you are a relationship coach. I know you went to school for that. For those who don't understand what it's like to be a relationship coach, what do you have to do to be that person that can give that kind of advice?
Well, anyone can do it if they get the right training. But I had a good combination of training. I actually started out as a sex coach. That was my first certification, sex coaching. And then I added singles and couples coaching to my repertoire. So I had a whole variety of knowledge and skills that I could help people with. But then I also have a ton of dating experience. So I've had many long-term, short-term relationships that I included in my book. So I talk about all of my own experiences, and then I incorporated that with all the knowledge I have from reading and training to be a coach, so I could help people that are single and looking for their soulmate.
So essentially, you could help me find my soulmate because I'm single. Yeah. There we go. That's very cool. It's interesting that you talk about all that because, I've done the dating thing for a long time. And I think a lot of people who listen to this, if they're not with their soulmate or they're single, especially now during the pandemic, it's a little bit more challenging. What do you find as someone who is a relationship coach? What do people say? Why do they use your services? What do they say to you? What's been your experience like?
Well, during the pandemic, it's difficult to meet in person, but it's a great way to see if your values align with the other person. Because if you have a completely different outlook on how careful you want to be and how cautious you are about COVID and just being exposed to different people, then you can find out if you're on the same page as the other person. So it's a really great method for dating because you can start out with phone calls and virtual dates before putting yourself at risk and meeting someone who you can have just as deep a conversation with online as in person.
And I think I heard you say on another show that you can have more than one soulmate. I don't know if you watch Sex and the City. I'm sure a lot of us have. And Carrie has always said, how many soulmates do you have? She had Big and she had Aiden and then she went back to Big. And when you watch a show like that, you're like, how many soulmates have I had? Am I at my peak? Is that it?
So everyone has a different opinion. Of course, I don't know 100% what is true, but I believe that everyone has a few soulmates. And it doesn't have to be just romantic soulmates. You could have a best friend that's a soulmate and you never progress besides being friends. You could have a soulmate that pops into your life for a really short time, even just a day or a week or a year, and then you go your separate ways. But that person was brought into your life for a reason. So don't undermine the experience. Like every soulmate that you come across is there to help guide you in the right direction. So there are a few lucky ones that do find their romantic soulmate and then they live happily ever after. So it does take a lot of inner work on yourself to figure out exactly who you are and what type of person you're looking for so you can attract the one that you're meant to be with.
So we're talking about your career, but also the fact that you wrote this book during COVID-19, like during the lockdown. So what inspired Date to Find Your Soulmate? Why did you decide to write this book?
Well, I had extra time on my hands because I wasn't going out and socializing, and I had just broken up with a guy, and I was just trying to figure out my life and a purpose for all the dates that I've been on throughout my life. And people have always told me to write a book because I've had so many crazy dating stories. And I decided to just put it all onto paper. So I did. And the stories just flowed out of me so easily because I had a lot of great experiences that I wanted to share with everyone. And it's been a really exciting journey for me.
So after you worked on the book, what was it like finding an editor, a publisher? Did you do the traditional route? Did you submit on your own, or did you submit to, because that's a process in itself, right? After you finish a book.
Yeah. So the inspiration came to me one day and I was thinking about, maybe I should really write a book. I mean, I've never had experience with it before, but I thought about it. And then the next day I opened Facebook and an ad popped up for a guy that said he can help you write your book in 5 weeks. Mm-hmm. So I scheduled a session with him for the next day to talk about it. And it was a perfect fit. He had all the skills that I needed to help me write a book. He focused on entrepreneurs and coaches and speakers, and that was all me. So I took his course and I was his star student because I actually did write my book in 5 weeks. I just followed all of his methods. It's just about like meditating and relaxing and just doing a lot of introspective work to figure out what I want to write about. And I did it. So I basically wrote the whole book in a month. And then he partners up with this publisher who helps me self-publish. So like there's an editor and there's a graphic designer who designs the cover and the whole inner book. And so like I worked with them and we got through the whole process, and then my book is complete and now it's on Amazon.
Hi, I'm Carlene and this is Carlene Tonight. We have Altered by Mom, Outside Lover.
Love is imperfection with you. I've got an invitation. other side. Time for talking, baby. Turn up the music loud. I'm seeing something in your eyes that says it's going down. Trouble with you. Feeling a connection. Love is imperfection with you.
Hi, I'm Carlene, and this is Carlene Tonight. We have for you Altered by Mom, Break Your Heart.
I don't think we ever had a chance. You knew all my punchlines in advance. I knew you had a mind to walk away, but never had the heart to really say, take
I have Rachel Scheer, and she just published Date to Find Your Soulmate. It's on Amazon. It's been on Amazon since the second, and it's an accolade to your life as, you know, someone who's a relationship coach. Obviously, you said you're a sex coach too, but just about finding your soulmate, which I think a lot of people are on this quest in life. We're all trying to find our soulmate, and some of us do, and some of us are like, well, now I'm 40 and I haven't found my soulmate yet. So, you know, some people find people later on in life, and some people we have other soulmates, like you said. Like I think for me, I found my close friend, and like we're just friends, but this is like the best friend I could ever have. We've watched so many movies together. We've had so many experiences, and yeah, it's just different in the dating world. Like some people just naturally find that person at a young age too, right?
Yeah, some people do. Some people are single their whole lives because they're searching for something that doesn't exist. Maybe they have this idea of what a soulmate should be, and they've possibly even met the person, but let them pass them by because they didn't think it was what they wanted or needed. So there are all sorts of different situations. Some people know that they're not with their soulmate, but they're okay with that. They decided to just accept who they ended up with and be happy with that. And that's completely fine. So everyone has a different understanding of what a soulmate means, and it's your path, it's your life. So you can choose whatever direction you want to take your life.
Yeah. I think with the soulmate thing, it's hard when you think that person is your soulmate, but they're not on the same like path with you. Like, you know, I remember like I had this crush on someone. I've known him like all my life. And, you know, I always thought that like, if anything, he was the person for me. But at the end of the day, he didn't like me the same way that I liked him. So, you know, there's always that too. Don't you find? Or like, what do you think?
Yes, I totally agree with you. There was a guy that I thought was my soulmate many years ago, but yeah, he didn't feel the same way. So if you don't feel the same way about each other, then it's not your soulmate. It's just maybe an infatuation and you have this strong connection, but it's not your soulmate.
What's your advice for us singles who want to date right now? Like, I have a friend, because I've done so many dating apps, I have done it all. Like Rachel, I have been on my Lava Life when I was 19. I had a success rate with that because I met my boyfriend at the time and we lasted for a little bit. And then now, so what would your suggestion be in terms of a dating app? Do you stick with one and see how it goes? Like, what would you suggest for those of us that are like, I want to date right now?
I would suggest joining multiple groups. So in addition to all the different dating apps that exist, there are also a lot of Facebook groups that have popped up, especially over the past year, because everything is virtual right now. So there are a lot of different Facebook groups for singles, depending on your interests or religion or age group or region of the world. So you can figure out what matters to you and find a Facebook group that appeals to your interests and your needs. So that's one way. And then, of course, there are all sorts of dating apps depending on what you're looking for. Of course, Tinder is more if you want to just meet someone right away for possibly a hookup. And then if you want something more serious, then there are different ones like OkCupid is hit or miss. And then same with Match and Bumble, Hinge. I mean, there's so many different options. So you have to see what works for you depending on what part of the world you're in, because some might be more popular than others in different places.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on OkCupid. I've been using that, but I'm more traditional. Like I'm old school. I like the phone better, like just getting to know the person's personality. But you just made me think about like the whole Facebook group thing, which I never really thought of doing that to meet someone. I've just been using it for my line of work, which is podcasting. And so there's so many groups for that. But I know there's Facebook dating. And then I guess you can look up singles groups on Facebook too. And it's not going to cost you a lot of money to join a Facebook group, right?
Oh yeah, they're all free. I joined so many different Facebook groups and I've met people from all over the world for networking purposes and to make new friends and for dating. So I've done it all and they're all great methods.
Yeah, I guess you just keep trying until, like, I don't know, if something works out. If it doesn't, at least you tried it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, of course, during COVID, I would recommend starting with a phone call because in the past, people would just jump to meet in person right away, but you don't want to put yourself at risk so quickly. So it's better to have a phone call and then have a few virtual dates to get to know each other that way before jumping into in person.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it's now we're treading lightly, like we're being extra cautious. You know what I mean? I guess it's making you think about everything all together. Whereas before we probably wouldn't have that method, like talking on I mean, it depends on how you are to begin with, right? We're all different in terms of like what we're comfortable with. And I think for me, like, it's good to talk to that person and meet them sooner rather than later, because time is of the essence too. Don't you feel? Or
yes, I do feel that way, that you can talk to someone for 6 months virtually and then meet in person and feel no chemistry. So then you just wasted many months of your life. But at the same time, if you just like jump to meet right away, then it could be a waste of your time because you weren't really compatible. And instead of getting ready and spending time, money, effort, going out there and meeting that person, you can first get to know them on an intellectual and emotional level before getting to the physical side.
yeah. So I just have a question about like dating itself, because you're saying trying different things, right? But you know, the show The Bachelor, which everyone watches all the time, would you ever do it the way they do it? Like, I mean, dating 25 people at once, and then every week, like, you're going through this process of elimination. Like, this is a reality TV show, but in real life, I always wonder, like, if that is an interesting way of doing things. You know what I mean? Like, it's a TV show at the end of the day, but.
Well, putting that into real terms, there probably are some people that date 20 people at once and they just like shuffle them like one or two people a night. So that is a method for dating if you want to do it that way. And then you can bring it down. Like every week you eliminate a few people that you don't feel connected with. So there are some people that date that way. But other people can only focus on one person at a time. So I'm not going to say that one is better than the other because they're both good in different ways. I mean, I don't know about dating 20 people at once, but maybe 3 or 4. So if you want to just date one person at a time, and that's all you can focus on, then that's great. Then just do that. But make sure that it's someone that you're actually compatible with, that you could see a future with, because you don't want to waste your time with someone just because it's great sex, even though you know it's not going to last. If your goal is to get married, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think I understand that point of view for sure. If your goal is that, just to eliminate people, because time is precious, right? And if whatever your goal is, right, we have to figure out what our goal is first. But Date to Find Your Soulmate is the book. It's out on Amazon right now. And what was the goal of writing the book? Is it to help people figure out, you know, this whole journey of dating to find your soulmate? Is that like is it a self-help book in that way?
Yes, it is. The purpose is to help people find their soulmate faster without making all the mistakes that I made. because I talk about all the mistakes I've made throughout my life, which is why I'm still single after 25 years of dating. So I want to help you find love faster in a simpler way. And then, of course, if you still want more help, I offer a coaching course that's called Your Road to Romance, which helps you go really deep into what you're looking for. And I help you clarify your relationship requirements and your values and help you attract the person of your dreams. So you can go to my website, lovelaughleisure.com, for more information about me and my coaching and what I do. And if you are in a relationship and you're listening, I can help you if you're having any issues with that too.
That's great. Rachel Scheer, Date to Find Your Soulmate. It's on Amazon.com or .ca if you're in Canada or the US or anywhere around the world. I mean, we just don't know who's tuning in. But I think what you have suggested makes sense because life is a journey. And like you said, you've gone on so many dates and I can relate to you on so many levels because I'm just like, I've been on way too many dates. And this is why I created this podcast, because I feel like relationships are not just relationships with your spouse or the person you're dating. It's also with yourself. In order to be ready to date, do you think you have to be at a certain place in your life? Like emotionally, physically, mentally? Like, what do you think?
Yes, I 100% believe that you need to know exactly who you are and what you want and be confident in your own skin. And they say that the human brain does not fully develop until you're 25 years old. So, of course, you can date and you might even find your soulmate before you're 25, but just be aware that you might change who you are as a person before that age. So after you're 25, then you start to understand who you are and your purpose in life. So if you're clear on all of that and what you require in a relationship and what your goals are for the future, then you can start dating. But if you're confused about what you really want, then maybe you should hold off for now.
Confused in what way? Like what you want in your life? Like if you want to have kids, like if you're not sure about that, like I feel like that's another thing too. You know what I mean? Like you're still not sure about certain things. Like you're sure that you want to be with someone, but you're not sure about whether or not you want to have kids or like you said, just knowing.
Yeah. Yeah. The having kids thing is a huge issue. A lot of people don't decide for themselves what they want, and then they just jump into a relationship assuming it will all work out. But sometimes it doesn't, because you end up marrying that person thinking still like, oh, we'll figure it out in the future. And then you're married for a few years and then start to be in disagreement about whether you should have kids or not. So yes, you can start dating someone, but then I would say don't get married if you're not sure and not clear on what you really desire.
So for those, who are on that path and interested in doing that, so they can check you out. You said your website is lovelaughleisure.com. That's right?
Yes, exactly.
Rachel. So how long have you been a relationship coach? Let's get down to the nitty gritty,
For 12 years.
Wow, 12 years. Yeah. And how has it been for you?
It's been great. I have coached all sorts of people with different issues, some singles, some couples, and I love talking about love. It's my favorite topic. So helping people with relationships is definitely my passion.
Yeah, I think that we're all on that journey where we're trying to figure out our passion and what we are supposed to do in life. Some of us figure it out a lot sooner than others. And I think it's so exciting that you're on the show and sharing your knowledge with me and with those in online because, we all want love, even if it's not, we're not going to find the love of our life or whatever. Maybe the love of our life will be our best friend. Who knows? That's just life, the way it pans out. Like, I do have to say one thing to you in my experience, like, when you have a certain personality type, and I'm sure you've been asked that, like, how come you're not married? You know what I mean? And those kinds of questions where you're like, I really wish I was, but it didn't work out like that right now,
Yeah, I've been asked that many times. I'll even on a first date, guys will say, have you ever been married? And I say no. And then they say, well, why not? What's wrong with you? They assume that there's something wrong with me, but they're the ones who are divorced. So that just shows that they chose the wrong partner. Whereas I am a lot more choosy and I do know what I want. So I had the opportunity to get married a few times, but I turned it down because I knew it wasn't the right person for me.
I think knowing is the best thing, knowing what you want and like you said, figuring it out. Cause I think like you said, in life, you're figuring things out and not everybody figures it out at a certain age or a certain point in our life. Like, I feel like even for me, like this year, I think I finally figured out like what I want to do career wise, and then revisiting things and finding our passions, like you said. So I think it all has to do with like you as a person, right? It all starts with you. I guess I don't know if you're in agreement with that or what you think, the whole dating game.
Yes, it all starts with you. You are the one that matters. So follow your heart and you will find your soulmate.
I love that. I think we have to end with that, Follow your heart and you will find your soulmate. Thanks again, Rachel Scheer. You can find her online, lovelaughleisure.com. And she just released her book a couple of days ago. I think it's great that you did that because Valentine's Day is just around the corner. And like, I don't know, some people are romantics that way. So,
Yes, that was the whole purpose.
Oh, was it? Oh, that makes sense. Very good. Well, thanks again. I hope that maybe you can have you back after I read the book. Maybe I'll have some questions for you. And, if you'd be willing to come back on the show.
Yes, definitely. I would love to.
All right. I'm Carlene, and this is Carlene Tonight in studio with the lovely Rachel Scheer.